Hey Sharks, I'm Jake Piekarski from Huntington Beach, California.
And I'm Philip Loveland from Libertyville, Illinois.
I think it's safe to say that nobody wants to open their front door in the morning and see a pile of snow on their driveway. It's both frustrating and time-consuming having to remove all that snow.
But college students have lots of free time. Of course, that's after going to class and studying.
That's where we come in at SnowScholars. SnowScholars is a snow removal business that employs college students. So when the snow falls like this...
It's snowing.
Wow. We make shoveling your own snow
a thing of the past.
We're one of the highest paying jobs on campus. So how does it work? Homeowners can sign up for a full season plan or a vacation plan on our website. They can select the areas they would like to have shoveled, salted, or sanded. All of our plans include hand shoveling, free salting or sanding, and a knock on the door by a friendly college student.
On a snow day, a snow scholar will receive a text to begin shoveling their assigned homes. They take before and after photos, which are then sent to our job reviewing team to maintain our 5-star standards.
Now, Sharks, we know money doesn't grow on trees, but for us,
It falls from the sky!
We're seeking 75,000 snowflakes for 10% of SnowScholars. So who's ready to join us as we continue snowballing our way to success across college campuses and help more students
Shovel student debt 1 inch at a time.
Yeah. What campuses are you guys on?
We are back with another Shark Tank Breakdown review episode. I'm your host, Dave, 10-year intellectual property attorney, dealing with everything from copyrights, patents, trade secrets, as well as trademarks. And I have to tell you, I actually like this idea. I really like this idea. And again, to the extent that you guys have, because we'll check out the website. It seems like they're on campuses already throughout the country, which is interesting because I think they're on the West Coast in California, but I was kind of looking them up a little bit as they were giving their pitch on a lot of campuses on the Midwest and the East Coast. So that's interesting. Let me know in the comment section if you have used their services and whether or not they're good or they're not so good. So let me know that in the comment section. Please hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to be a part of the IP community. I would love to have you as part of the IP community where we talk everything intellectual property. And with that being said, before I get into the 3+ bonus things that I look for, this is why intellectual property is so important. I know kind of we talked on the one with Sonia Richards, Ross and her husband, Terrence Ross, their pajama line, and how they were called court knits. And Mark actually gave them some great advice talking about how you probably should kind of, from a brand standpoint, do yo, yo, yo instead and trademark that phrase. And I thought that was great advice because that's a little bit more catchy. That's a little bit more kind of interesting as opposed to kind of calling a pajama line or any clothing line coordinates, which I understand you're trying to color coordinate the family, which is cool. But I think just from a kind of drawing people in, yo, yo, yo is kind of fun and accomplishes that goal a lot more than coordinates. And I'll probably say the same thing here. Now, I'm not sure for those of you who are around college campuses or, was on college campuses, and I looked it up as they were giving their pitch. It's a junk hauling services called College Hunks Hauling Junk. And I think that's a pretty cool, catchy name that entices people to kind of use their services. Again, I'll say the name. You guys can look them up. I know they're in here in Michigan. I'm not sure if they're what other states they're in, but they are at least in here in the great state of Michigan, and they're called College Hunks Hauling Junk. I think that's a catchy name. You have 2 men in a truck, which again built a big business, and that's again a catchy name. Let me know in the comment section, do you think SnowScholars is a catchy name? Look, if I'm a college student or even a homeowner within that area, I don't necessarily care if they're a scholar or not. I want them essentially just shoveling snow. So I think the reason I'm saying all that before is because I think the whole trademark is a big part when you're talking about branding your business to draw people in, especially when you're talking about a cool name, a catchy name, a name that's like, okay, this is interesting. Let me kind of see what this is about. I think SnowScholars maybe is a little bit kind of bland. It'll be interesting if the Sharks say that or if they are okay with the name, but that's something that I kind of it's kind of thinking to myself, like SnowScholars, that's kind of a cheesy name, but it can be something else. Like I said, College Hunks Hauling Junk, it can be something that's a little bit more cool and draws people in. But again, like I said before, I love what they're trying to do. Again, a lot of times college students are pretty frivolous with money they spend, and unfortunately, a lot of them is spending on a dime of Uncle Sam. But we were talking about trying to go to class, especially in these areas where I know I went to Michigan State, and in the wintertime, it was tough. And being able to kind of have your show snovel to the extent that you live in an apartment or a house without having to worry about it. Again, I think that's a problem that to be solved. So I kind of love the business model, especially when you're talking about college campuses. So let's see what the Sharks think about it. The three things plus the bonus I look for: how simple is it? Again, it seems like it's some complexity involved when you're talking about logistical, with dealing with other people. It's a lot of human interaction involved. When you're kind of these two guys as the owners dealing with having other humans, and trusting them to be able to actually go carry out the function. But again, it can be done. It's a lot of different services like that. I know Pest Control have services like that where they come every month or every so often to be able to kind of spray around your home or whatever the case may be. So for a fee. So these type of fee arrangements are out there. Again, I'm not sure how simple it is when you're talking about a logistical standpoint, but again, it's still, I think it's a good business model. Effective. We'll see what the sales are. It seems like, again, $750,000 is the valuation of the company. I would imagine that they don't have a ton of sales, but again, I may be stand corrected. And then what's the market? Like I said, you're talking about East Coast, you're talking about Midwest. It's a lot of college campuses, whether it's Division I, Division II, Division III schools across the country. I understand a lot of these schools on the West Coast or maybe the South or the Southeast maybe don't need these services, but it's still a ton of schools in the Midwest, on the East Coast, as well as that kind of, that southern region, Southwest, Midwest, south of like Michigan and Ohio. So it's a lot of states that can use these services. So I think the market is there. And I don't think it's something like that, particularly for college campuses. So again, I think it is kind of fitting the need for that market. And then the fourth thing is, are they protecting their IP? And to the extent that you trying to build a business on a good foundation, I think protecting that IP is a big part of that. I actually looked up their IP. They do have SnowScholars as a registered trademark, which is a good thing. So kudos to them for trademarking that name. Now it'd be interesting on whether or not the Sharks want to change that name. The great thing about trademarks, as well as all these other forms of intellectual property, is you can have multiple. You can have multiple trademarks. You can have multiple patents. You can have multiple copyrights, so forth and so on. So again, just to the extent that you two, the business owners, are listening to this, please consider something maybe a little bit more catchy to kind of draw that person in, especially when you're talking about college students. That's what they want, something catchy that they can kind of get down with. So those are some of my initial thoughts. Let me know your initial thoughts in the comment section as we get back to it and see what the Sharks think about this thing. This one I think should be interesting. Let's go.
Yep, right now we're on 2 college campuses at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, with plans for expanding to 4 more this year. So there's over 140 college campuses that this business can go to, both in the US and Canada, that fit our criteria.
Jake, how does it work? How do you find clients? Just walk me through the process.
Last year we did mostly just social media marketing. This next year we're partnering with campuses to get on their student job boards.
So that's how you get the students, the shovelers.
Correct.
How do you get the homes?
Yes.
Yes, so we send out flyers to doors. We pay college students to distribute flyers for the season.
You're doing physical flyers.
Physical flyers.
And how much is it?
So our average cost per snowfall is $74.56.
Regardless of how many inches?
Regardless, that's what customers love. Customers
That
are
flat
used.
rate.
Compared to our competitors, they can charge as much as $300 to remove snow.
Not for a single driveway.
For a single driveway.
Well, look, in Michigan, sometimes they have winters with no snow.
Right.
So what happens then? What about ice? Do you come in salt?
So we dispatch at 1 inch of snow, which is very small.
What about ice storms?
Yes. So ice storms, ultimately, we do provide free salting and sanding.
Whoa, what's this free stuff?
So why do you do that for free?
Ultimately, homeowners are tired of paying a ridiculous price with over $100 to apply salt for one time. We do it for free. And even though we charge $74.56, we have a 73.3% net profit margin.
We have our whole team, and we have our design software that we use to make all the routes within 3 hours before the snowfall. And each shoveler gets roughly 5 to 6 homes. If they want more, we can give them more. If they want less,
So you have software that does an optimization.
Yes, correct.
Basically, what software you created?
So we custom built our own software. The biggest reason why we did this is we want this business to be operated by very few people. We want it to be automated.
What are your sales?
So a snow season starts December 1 to April 1st. So this last snow season, we did $116,800 in sales.
Wow.
And we profited $85,500, all while being able to generate $25 or pay students $25 an hour, which is the highest paying job on campus. They'll make about $185 a day.
Is it just you two guys?
It's just us two.
Are
but
you 50-50 partners?
So I own 100% of the business, but Philip has put in
You
more
do?
than... Yes, but Philip has put in...
How'd you let that happen?
Oh, I have a sweat equity deal.
Oh, there you
so
go. Okay.
eventually, once we get to $270,000, I get 30% of it.
Oh, there
So
you go.
let's
Good
go
for you.
back to you. Kevin, don't speak.
Yeah.
Let's go back to you. Tell us about you, how you came up with this.
So we both just graduated from the University of Wisconsin with management and entrepreneurship degrees. Philip also has a psychology degree. Ultimately, I've always hustled. I actually grew up playing ice hockey. To pay for my hockey equipment, to help my parents out, I would buy 100 rolls of hockey tape from China for $100, sit at hockey arenas on weekends, and sell them all out for $5 a roll. And that's how I would pay for all of my hockey equipment.
That's good.
And during my junior year, that's when actually I met him at a company I was interning for. You may recognize it. It's called SnowScholars.
I know a little bit about those guys.
I know. I think you may have.
And what is that? Tell us
SnowScholars is a company that came on Shark Tank that I invested in that's crushing it. And they organize move in and move out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I thought that was very smart.
1 year ago, right?
Yeah.
Guys, I grew up in Boston. We have nor'easters. It's the worst winter money can buy. And I swore to myself years ago, I hate winter. And I finally made it to Miami, where I spend all winters. I'm never going to deal with snow again.
Yep.
But I'm romantically involved in it. I like to look at pictures of snow while I'm sitting on the beach. That's fantastic. I like your deal. I like you guys. I'm going to make you an offer.
Awesome.
I'm going to give you $75,000 for 20%.
Look at him. It seems like they're going to start getting some offers. Now, it's a couple things that I wanted to point out. Number one, I'm not sure what Mr. Wonderful, when the last time he's been in Michigan. Clearly, he just said he typically has been in Florida for a while and kind of looks at pictures in the wintertime of snow. But I can tell you what, I've been in Michigan, for 30 plus years. And I'm not sure the last time that we had a snowless winter. Now, it may not be as bad, or it may come later on in the winter months, but I've never been through Michigan where it's no snow. So I'm not sure what Mr. Wonderful was talking about with that. I guess the $300, they said that some people can pay up to $300 just for a driveway. I'm not sure if I've ever paid $300 for someone to shovel my driveway or plow my driveway. But again, let me know in the comment section, are people really paying $300 just for a driveway shovel, or being able to get the driveway plowed? That sounds crazy. Like I said, I love the idea. They talked about some design software. It kind of almost reminds me of like the Uber of snow removal. So again, that design software is protectable, if not via a patent, definitely via a trade secret. Just understand the difference between a patent and a trade secret. A patent is something that you have to disclose, and to the extent that is novel and non-obvious, you can get a patent on it. Whereas a trade secret, you have to kind of keep it secret, keep it confidential, as well as put some protection measures up. And as long as it's kept secret, you have that protected. So again, whether or not the design software is protectable via a patent or a trade secret, this is something, especially sounds like it's proprietary, that they can protect either via a trade secret as well as a patent. Again, it seems like the college campus, the college students, they will love this $25 an hour. Man, back in my day in Michigan State, I was working at the physical plant doing custodial at nighttime in the wee hours of the morning. And I think I was getting paid like $10, $12 or maybe $15 max. So you're talking about $25, and I could kind of work what I want, getting a couple $100 a day potentially. Hey, I probably would have signed up for this. So let me know if you're a college student, or were you a previous college student, if this is something that you would have did. I probably would have did if I could just get $180 or $200 a day, kind of doing things, kind of going as I shoveling snow as I go or as I please. I think that was interesting that I wrote down. But again, it seems like they're going to start getting some offers. Kevin seems intriguing. Like I said at the beginning, I actually like this idea. I don't love the name necessarily. Now, kind of SnowScholars, it seems like maybe the previous StoreScholars, they kind of piggybacked off that. But I don't necessarily kind of love that name. I think, especially when we're talking about college students, it can be something a little more catchier, a little bit more cool to really kind of draw the students in. But it seems like the students is getting paid. And $74, man, I guess these days with inflation, that's maybe a bargain to get some show snuffle, but I'm not sure. Let's get back to it and see if they get more deals from the other sharks. Let's go.
Hey, Kevin, I'd love to defend that valuation. So it's really. So this business started November 2022. We had $18,000 in sales in that first snow season with $13,000 in profit. This next year, we were able to maintain those profit margins, but it's very hard to value a business at early stage, but I will give you the facts. So ultimately, we grew from 34.
What, are we in class here?
I like it.
Apparently.
So we grew from 34 customers to 353 customers with the opportunity to go to 700 customers. Our customer acquisition cost is $7.08. And for each customer, they spend $814 a year on us.
Well, I like your
I
numbers.
started off doing this exact thing because
Yeah.
in the hood, it was as soon as the snow fell, that's a day off and I can make money.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do was charge all the customers around $10. And I realized after about 30 houses that I could sit home and give my friends $4 a driveway. And I would sit home and do that. So I really know this business. But I'm going to match Kevin's offer $75,000 for 20%.
Well,
Thank
you
you,
got
Damon.
two
I was going to go
offers.
25, but if
Thank you, Damon.
Kevin wants 20, then I have to go 20.
Yeah, 20 is very reasonable, you know.
Listen,
Remind
let
me
me
of the
tell you
guys
what
I
I
actually
think.
teach in school.
First of all, I think you guys are fantastic. I
Thank you.
really do. I'm not even sure why you need my help because I think you're doing everything right. I'm sorry. I'm out.
Yes.
I think you're going to struggle to make it scale. The variance of snowfall and the peak in demand is going to be really, really hard. I can't see this business scaling on the large scale. I'm out. It's not for me.
Thank you, Robert.
So I've driven to over half of
You
these
have two
college
offers?
campuses. We do. We do.
Guys, I'll give you $150,000 for 20%.
Mark will take your deal.
Done.
Thank you.
So guys, what are you going to do?
Thank you, Mark.
There you go.
Hey, I think that Mark just you could tell sitting back, not really saying a whole lot. He liked not only the hustle, but he liked the fact that, hey man, it may be something here. I think Robert had brought up a good point. The variance of snow can kind of maybe dictate the sales from year to year. But man, it's just like I said, when you're talking about the Midwest, when you're talking about the East Coast, they're going to get some snow. So you may not crush it every year, but I would imagine that you're going to make a ton of money. And again, you're getting cheap labor essentially with the college students. Damon John, man, hey, I have to say this. We'll take a look at the website before I get you guys up out of here. I remember as a kid, man, just having that hustler mentality and kind of going to shovel snow with my uncles. And no, unfortunately, man, I think they underpaid me over the years. So I kind of stopped doing that. But it was good times going and kind of, drinking hot chocolate with mom, coming back after a long day making money or shoveling snow with the uncles. But I can tell you, as I look back on that time period, I think whether it was shoveling snow or raking leaves, cutting grass, I think they underpaid me significantly. But I guess that's the cost of doing business. And sometimes you have to kind of learn the hard way, unfortunately. I learned my lesson now, though. Let's go to the website. It seems like they SnowScholars here. Like I said, they do have a trademark on the name SnowScholars. And again, as you can look at this thing, they have a ton of other schools. Actually, they're Colorado. Travis Hunter just winning the Heisman. But Eastern, like I said, I'm in a great state of Michigan. So they made their way to Michigan. Eastern is in Michigan's Grand Valley. North Dakota State gets a lot of snow. I'm not sure who that is. That may be Cornell. I'm not sure it's TS. Again, it seems like obviously it's going to be Midwest, East Coast, Snakes, Minnesota. My great Michigan State, it seems like they're a part of there. Western Michigan is in the great state of Michigan, obviously. Michigan, Boston College, Northwestern. So again, a ton of schools in the Big Ten. Seems like they have some schools in the MAC. They made their way out to the West Coast of Colorado, which I did forget. They get a ton of snow in Colorado. But again, they're kind of doing their thing. So kudos to those guys. Seems like that's Colorado. Like I said, Michigan. Now, Michigan is right here, Minnesota, Wisconsin. It'd be interesting if they can kind of get that Indiana. Then you have Ohio here, which I would imagine. Like I said, this whole area is in play as well as over here. I would imagine Colorado, they can get more schools there. Obviously, West Coast. Maybe over here, kind of get some snow, kind of bordering Canada. Montana, I think that is. Obviously, you're not going to do anything in Florida or Texas or in kind of that southeast region with Florida, Carolinas, Atlanta, Georgia, Louisiana, and whatnot. But they're killing it, man. So kudos to those guys. Doesn't seem like they're showing anything with regard to patents or anything. I definitely think they can get a trade secret on their design software to the extent that they don't want to get a patent on it because it's not fall within the bounds for a patent. But again, they do have a trademark on SnowScholars, so kudos to them. And kudos to them for getting a deal, man. It seems like, again, Mark, that's one of the benefits of being a billionaire. I forget what he offered, $150,000, I think, for 20%. So what he seems like he doubled Kevin's offer in terms of giving them more money for the same percentage again. So it must be nice to be a billionaire. It seems like these guys are going to continue to crush it, continue to get more and more schools. Okay, I didn't think they have a school in New York as well as some stuff on the East Coast. So they're expanding. And if he's saying that it's 140 campuses within that, I mean, within the region that they're kind of looking to go to, I completely believe them on that. And I think these guys will continue to crush it. So kudos to them. You guys, let me know, number one, to the extent that you use their services, let me know in the comment section. But what do you think? What do you think? Would you use those services, whether or not you're a college student watching this, or maybe just a homeowner within a college campus? I know at the great state of Michigan, Michigan State University, great school, they have East Lansing. It's a number of homes there that like working class people that stay there, as well as college students stay there. So to the extent that you are in one of those type areas where you are kind of within a college zone, so to speak, would you use these services? $74, it seems like from what they're saying, that's kind of, hey, it's an easy decision at that point. $300 seems a little pricey to me if people are paying that, but again, to the extent that you're paying $300, you can get these guys for $74 and get free salt, which again, at the very least, I would definitely take the free salt. So let me know what you guys think about it. Please, please, please hit a like if you enjoyed this video for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit the subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. Shark Tank videos is one of the big things that we do. We also do a ton of other things. We bring on people such as the participants and interview them about their journey, particularly about the IP side of things, to making sure they're protecting their intellectual property. We do current events that's kind of surrounding intellectual property. We break down lawsuits. I have some cool things coming on in 2025 that kind of is dealing with businesses, real well-established businesses, and maybe kind of failed businesses, and kind of how IP played a part of that. So I'm very excited to roll that out. And again, please, so it's definitely something that you guys can get down with on everything intellectual property. So please hit that subscribe button if you like this type of content. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.